The United States entered the 1960s with an economy that had grown steadily since the end of the Second World War. Factories were busy, wages were rising. Millions of families were moving into newly built suburbs surrounding the nation's cities. Automobiles filled expanding highways. Shopping centers replaced older downtown markets. Household appliances and consumer goods became part of everyday life for a growing middle class. For many Americans, the post-war decades brought a level of economic comfort that earlier generations had rarely experienced. Yet prosperity did not reach everyone equally. Large areas of the country still struggled with poverty. Rural communities lacked investment. Many cities faced deteriorating housing and underfunded schools. By the early 1960s, national leaders began debating whether the federal government should play a larger role in addressing these inequalities. The discussion soon became part of a broader vision for American society. In 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson announced an ambitious domestic agenda known as the Great Society. The program aimed to reduce poverty, expand access to education, and improve health care for millions of Americans. New legislation soon followed. The federal government created programs designed to assist low-income families, expand job training, and support community development projects in struggling neighborhoods. Two of the most significant changes focused on health care. The programs known as Medicare and Medicaid extended medical coverage to elderly Americans and many families who previously had little access to care. The legislation dramatically expanded the role of the federal government in everyday life. Education policy also changed during these years. Federal funding increased for schools and universities, helping broaden access to higher education for a new generation of students. At the same time, the physical landscape of the country continued to evolve. Suburbs expanded outward, separating where Americans lived from where they worked. Daily life reorganized around distance, roads, and routine movement. Shopping, work, and home were no longer in the same place. They were connected by systems people now depended on. The decade's prosperity created new possibilities. During the Cold War, American leaders often argued that prosperity itself demonstrated the strength of the nation's economic system. One famous example of that argument had taken place only a few years earlier. In 1959, Vice President Richard Nixon and Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev met inside a model American suburban kitchen at the American National Exhibition in Moscow. Surrounded by modern appliances and consumer products, the two leaders debated which system could provide a better life for its citizens. The exchange, later known as the kitchen debate, captured a central theme of the Cold War. Economic prosperity had become a form of ideological competition. For millions of Americans, however, the changes of the 1960s were less about global rivalry and more about everyday opportunity. New schools, improved medical care, and expanding suburbs reshaped how many families lived. But it also revealed how unevenly those possibilities were distributed. The effort to close that gap would become one of the defining domestic struggles of the era.